Hello, welcome again. It's me. I'm here to teach you about some inflation. So here we go. There's a couple of key concepts you're going to have to know, and here they are. Firstly, what is inflation? Well, inflation is what happens when things cost more over time. So once upon a time, when you went to the shop and you bought a packet of chips, it was R1, and then it was R2, and now it's R4, and that is because over time things get more expensive. That is inflation. Obviously, that is a very practical part of the economy that we currently function in. So, also need to know about purchasing power, how much your money can purchase. So, once again, if I have R20, my R20 can get me two bar ones, but if there's inflation, my R20 will only be able to get me one bar one, and obviously that's very bad. And so as there is inflation, as things cost more, my purchasing power with my same R20 becomes less. And lastly, the inflation rate. Now, this is something that the government kind of puts out into the world to say over an average that we've worked out. This is the cost, how the costs of things have increased over this year. Usually, they measure it from one year to the next, and it's a percentage. So they aim to have the inflation rate in this country somewhere between 4 and 6%. They don't always get that right, but that is their aim. So they're intending that things will become 4 to 6% more expensive over time, over the course of 1 year. But as we know, these things can change. Sometimes the actual inflation rate will be lower, sometimes it will be higher. And remember, that's also an average. So they are talking about the price of petrol, the price of food, the price of electricity, whereas you might be only interested in the inflation rate of one thing, the price of a car, or the price of a packet of knickknacks or something. So it's from 1 year to the next. That's how they measure it. But an inflation rate is any rate that is measured, and you could have an inflation rate over a month or a week or even a day if things are really getting expensive that fast. So some basic examples. Last year, this is semi-true. Last year, I could buy a 2-liter Coke for R16.95, and now the price is R20.95. So what is the inflation rate of a 2-liter Coke in the past year? Now I must measure my inflation rate in percentage. So this is really a percentage calculation, percentage change. And I hope you already know that if I'm doing a percentage change question, then my formula is the change divided by the original price. So I'm just going to use that formula for my inflation rate calculation. Pretty simple. For change, what am I talking about? I'm talking about how much the price has changed. So it's gone from R16.95 to R20.95. That means I'm going to use that little, I'm going to subtract the one from the other, and I'm going to get my change. And I'm going to divide it by the original price. Now, the original price is always the last year's price. You might get confused there, so just remember original, the one that was originally there. So in this case, R16.95. So I've put those figures in, and there's my formula. I can punch it into my calculator as is. But if I take steps, it'll be R4 change, divided by the R16.95 gives me 0.2359882. And remember, that is a percent, so I will still need to times it by 100. And if I times it by 100, I will round it off as well to 23.6%. So Coke has gone up 23% in the past year. A travesty of justice, and it should never be. But here we are, where our Cokes cost more. Mostly because the government introduced a sugar tax last year, which is what made Coke so much more expensive. But there you go. Example number 2. This one, I'm given the inflation rate, and I'm told I need to work it out. So this is in essence just a very basic, if I add the price, the inflation rate to the price, what will I get? I made this figure up. I actually don't know how much knickknacks cost in 2017, so forgive me if I get it wrong. The price of a knickknacks is R2.69, and the inflation rate is 5.6%. Calculate the same price of the same packet in 2018. So a year later, how much will it be? Well, I need to add the 5.6% to the price, 269. You can remember the golden rule of Maths Lit. Divide by what you're in times by where you're going. I'm assuming that your original price is 100%. So my 269 is my original price. It's 100%. I need it to be 105.6%. So 2.69 divide by what I'm in, divide by the original price, 100 divided by 100% times 105% will give me my answer, R2.84. You can plug it in a calculator and see if I've made a mistake there. There is an alternative. They could say, calculate the price that would have been charged in 2016 if inflation remains constant. So 2016, if you're careful with the dates there, 2016 is before it's 269. So my 269 that I've got there is already got the inflation added to it. So if you want, my 269 is 105.6% and not 100%. And the original price will be 100. So now when I'm doing my calculation, I'll divide by what I'm in. I've got 269, and that 269 in 2017 is 105.6%. So I will divide by 105.6, and I will times by 100. And that will give me the price in 2016, which would have been the original price in this context. And when I do that on my calculator, it works out to R2.55. I'm hoping that you can make sense in any question. They're going to have to give you a timeline and say there's an inflation rate. Either you're working out the inflation rate and then it's a percentage change question, or you are working out the new price or the old price, the original or the updated price. So you then need to figure out what you're in and either divide by or times by 100 and then add the inflation rate and either divide or times by, depending on what dates you're given and what time you're given. I hope that those examples make sense to you. Thanks for watching my little inflation video, and I hope to see you soon.